What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's Pinball Effects tournament, where we will be talking about our one ball challenge that we had on Swords of Fury, the classic Williams table from 1988. And then we will be going into our last Williams table. I can't believe we've gone through all of them, but our last Williams table will be on Safecracker. So that tournament will be a private, limited attempts. And I think on Safecracker, that might be a good idea because something about the magic token, but it could also be bad. I don't know. It's always weird with Safecracker because you have, you can use the magic token, but I don't think you can use a magic token on a one ball challenge. I think, if I remember correctly, but we'll see how that goes. Let's actually talk about our Swords of Fury table in the one ball challenge. So Swords of Fury was a machine designed by a man named Steve Kirk, and I am not familiar with this name. I might have heard about it, I probably have, but it's not like a name that I'm familiar with, like something like Pat Lawlor or Steve Ritchie. So when I'm looking at his machines that he was involved in, he was involved in around 16 tables, so not a lot of machines, and Swords of Fury was the only one where he worked for Williams. The other companies, it looks like he had a stop at Bally, Gottlieb, Sega Sonic, Sagasa Sonic, was the company, Pinstar, Taito, Stern Electronics, Gottlieb. So it looks like he started with Gottlieb, and he kind of bounced around to different manufacturers. And what's interesting too is that a lot of his, roles on these tables were not always like lead roles. Some of it was like team, where he was game design. Some of it, he was doing other things like concept. But there's tables where like Gamatron from Pinstar was a conversion kit. Gamatron from Sagasa Sonic was also a conversion kit. Ramp Warrior from Bally was a prototype that was canceled. So, the only popular ones were Surf and Safari by Gottlieb, Truck Stop, Swords of Fury, 9 Ball from Stern, Meteor from Stern, Stars from Stern, Big Jack from Gottlieb, Paul Bunyan also from Gottlieb, Fun Park, Tivoli from Gottlieb, which I've never heard about, Fun Fair, Fun Land. And so it's interesting too, because you look at his career, and he went from like EM machines to solid states to alphanumeric, right? So, his the way he's had to view pinball has changed. So that is the the creator of the table, Steve Kirk. And I guess I'm a little more familiar with his name now. But yeah, it's a name that I'm not too familiar with, because I don't really play too much of the tables. I mean, the Surf and Safari I've played before, Truck Stop, of course, but many of the other ones that he's done, I haven't really played a lot. So, and he's not done a lot, right? So now that that's out of the way, Swords of Fury was also inspired from like medieval adventure stories, right? Where you have this Balrog, which is, I have to look it up. A Balrog is apparently a powerful demonic monster that was adapted in medieval fantasy and fiction, from authors like J.R.R. Tolkien, who worked on Lord of the Rings, the Middle Earth. So that's where the concept is kind of based on. You see a lot of like medieval kind of references with the sound effects of the swords. the monsters, the Lion Man, even the artwork on the back glass in the table looks like it's some kind of medieval fantasy, right? But it's still an original table, right? It's not a licensed product, which is what makes it interesting. But I think the biggest thing to take from talking about Swords of Fury is the fact that it's an alphanumeric display as opposed to a dot matrix display, a DMD. And so we've played tables that have been, Williams DMD tables, right? Roadshow, Fishtails, even Safecracker as a DMD. And the main point that I want to bring up is I think talking about, for pinball, it's just a score display. An alphanumeric is just a score display, whereas a DMD is kind of like a video display, right? You can display score, and you can also have video animations. And I think it makes such a huge difference in my enjoyment. Like, I still enjoy tables that are alphanumeric, like Diner, right? Diner from Williams is one of my favorite tables, and it's an alphanumeric. But I think the addition of the dot matrix really makes the experience of the table so awesome and so inviting. And the fact that you can have video modes added on just make the table, seem more immersive, right? So kind of think of it like this. Think about, do you think your opinion of Swords of Fury would be different if it was a DMD table where you had animations of the Balrog, right? Or the Lion Man? And I think the DMD is such a great concept and, technology, because it can help tell the story, right? Imagine if Swords of Fury was a DMD and you could see animations like during multi-ball of a simple Balrog or a Lion Man whenever you hit the Lion Man ramp. But you don't get that on the alphanumeric display. You just look at it and it's just a score, right? And it's limited too. I mean, there's only a 7-digit alphanumeric display that rolls over after you get past the maximum allotted points. So I think when you think about the release date of Swords of Fury, and you think about its spot in pinball, it's at the very tail end of alphanumeric and at the beginning of DMDs. But I think you almost have to kind of imagine tables that are alphanumeric and think about them like, wow, what if it was a DMD? How cool would that have been, right? Or even if Diner was a DMD, to see like animations. And you don't really think it's a big idea, right? It's just a display screen, but it's a lot bigger than it is. And I think that's why the DMD was such a big thing when it released, because this had never been done before. And then you look at today where we are in pinball, you have basically video screen displays, right? And the emphasis is not really so much on the score, it's about everything else, for better or worse, right? So kind of think about that. Think about, the fact that DMDs, you can have these video modes that can explain the story, that can kind of bring the table to life, apart from the sounds and the lighting. So another thing that I think makes Swords of Fury interesting is that it has a very interesting design that separates itself. It's a, multi-layered playfield. You have that extra mini playfield. Starting from the plunge, you go into this mini playfield with that extra flipper, and it drops off into the orbit. You've got that mini horseshoe loop. You have an extra set of flippers. So you have a total of 5 flippers, including the one on the mini playfield. You've got a kickback, a bunch of ramps and coils. And it's just a very difficult, it's a cool design. That's what I give it credit for. Like, I like it. I like the fact, because mostly when you plunge a ball on most tables, it goes direct. It's going to be directly on the playfield. But this one, you're introduced to that upper playfield, mini playfield. But I think the design of the table gets kind of repetitive, and it's a very difficult table. Let's be honest here. It's not high scoring. It's the multi-ball is very difficult to score a jackpot because you have to have multiple balls in play, and you have to get the ball to the mini playfield and then hit the one of the magic lights that are lit for the jackpot. And that is tough to do, because you're not only doing it on the same playfield, you're doing it on another one, and you only have one flipper as opposed to having two, so you can only cradle, the ball on the mini playfield with one flipper. And so there's all these things that go into what makes this table incredibly difficult, and a lot of alphanumeric tables are like this. A lot of them are very tough and relentless. You do have a drain post, which is helpful in a lot of ways. You do have the kickback at the start of the game, but the kickback can't be reactivated unless you start a multi-ball. And so, all in all, when you have a one-ball challenge, these things are hard to do. But the scores that we got this week, which we'll talk about soon, was pretty amazing, because these are scores that would be also hard to get with your classic 3-ball, right? But yeah, when you think about Swords of Fury, think about its design, think about the mini playfield, the fact that it has no poppers, which is an interesting concept to think about for someone who, you think about pinball tables. Most pinball tables have pop bumpers. So whenever a table doesn't, you always got to wonder, how did that factor in the design phase of the table, right? But another thing that I think is a downside to this table is that there's a heavy emphasis on multi-ball, right? Which can be good for tournament play, but I think this table just lends itself towards more advanced players who can really start multi-balls, who know how to, get the jackpots going. And this table is kind of a table where, even if you read the table guide on Pinball FX, you're not going to be able to know everything about it. You have to do some research and see that, building up the lineman bonus, doing Ogre's Alley, finding out how to get multi-ball fast. So it's not really a straightforward table. It's got a rule set, and it's got complicated logic. But I actually, I kind of like the logic in a way, because, for example, hitting the slingshot switches the Ogre Alley from advancing it or collecting it. So it just switches. It's stuff like that, but it's still pretty tough. I mean, rule set wise and its logic, right? So that's pretty much everything that I want to say about this. I played this table in real life a couple times. If I were to play it now, I would definitely enjoy it more, because I know a little bit more about it and how the rules work. But when I played it, it was just as difficult as it was, on a one-ball. But it was cool to have, encountered this machine from '88, the year of my birth, right? So now we'll look at the scores. We had a really big turnout, 55 people on this open challenge. So really great turnout here. And in first place, we have Ned B with 10 million points. Congratulations to you, Ned B, for that. That's a crazy score. And so I'm guessing that it's multiple jackpots, because, as you know, the jackpot builds up on this table. But also, what's interesting that I forgot to mention earlier on is that this game also gets difficult. The difficulty of the game gets more challenging once you hit 2 million points, because the timer to hit the lineman ramp and the magic tunnel is shorter, right? So you really have to give credit. That's why this table is so difficult. So congratulations to first place, Ned B, with 10 million points right there. Second place, we have Nonchalance, level 100, with 6 million points, close to 7 million. And underneath him, we have third place, one of our regulars, Gatvic, with 6,594,000. Very close to second place here. And I'm proud to announce, in fourth place, let's think about it now. You had 55 people in this tournament. So we had 2 regulars, Gapik and Krobs, in the top 4. And so Krobs, my arch nemesis number 2, with 6 million points. Also want to mention that Krobs is going to be hosting Williams tournaments himself. So that you guys, if you still want to play Williams, you can still do that on his tournaments. I think he said he'll be doing a pro mode, so it'll be a pro classic, so 3 balls, but pro mode on Williams. So I'm looking forward to that. But congratulations, Krobs, for that impressive score. Underneath him, we have a Dude Man 88 with 6 million points. In 6th place, my number 1 arch nemesis, King Balchi 100. With 4,583,000. King Balchi, congratulations to you owning a, the Quest 3. I think he recently told me he bought a Quest 3, so he's been enjoying the VR, which is cool. I've talked to a few people. CG has been talking to me about VR as well. Even Lauren. I haven't talked to Lauren in a while, but he's a big VR guy as well. So in 7th place, we have Jabba, really close to King Balchi's score. UTD 4008 with 4 million points. My friend Dave 950 with 4 million points as well. Fabled Scared was 79th to round it off in 10th with 4 million points. So we had a lot of 4 million in here. Bad Jack Daniels in 12th place with 3,329,000. My friend Bad Jack. I came in 14th with 3 million. I really tried to get past, to improve my score, but I just couldn't. And after a while, I just got kind of tired of Swords of Fury. I had enough of the sounds and hearing Lion Man, challenge me. So after a while, I just kind of gave up on it. But I had a good time, for what it's worth. Going down the list, trying to read names that I know. Carpy's Son in 19th with 1,568,000, also level 100. Irks, my friend Irks, 1945 in 23rd place with 1 million points. Just going down the list for any other names that I know. So that's pretty much it. Thank you to everyone who joined in on this tournament. And let's go and let's create our final Williams tournament. It's hard to believe. I wish there were more Williams. But I'm excited to move on to, I think it's going to be the Zen Originals next. So let's look at Williams here. So Safecracker is our last one. And I'm pretty sure we've done every table by now, every Williams table for 1 ball. I might have missed one, but I don't believe so. Where's Safecracker? I can never find Safecracker. There. Here it is. So go private tournament. It's going to be a 1-ball challenge. 10 attempts here, 6 days. So 6 days, 10 attempts, 1-ball challenge. And today's date is the 10th, right? So password will be 41025. 41025. Let's go here. And here is the ID, and let's go. I'm gonna use 1 attempt here. Password again is 41025. And let's click play. Also, I hope the sound is working with my new microphone. All right, let's go here. Okay.
Intruder alert. Area shut down.
Wait, Safecracker was by Pat Lawlor, right?
Any mistake will result in complete termination.
So, one of the things about Safecracker is it's a time-based table.
You have been ruined.
Oh, so it's good and bad, right? Oh, that was really bad, though. Let's wheel and deal. I'm gonna go one more time here.
Intruder alert. shutdown is underway.
But you have the cool board game, so that's what makes it unique.
Any mistake will result in complete termination. For your own safety, please leave the area immediately. You have been warned.
Let's wheel and deal.
There it is. Let's wheel and deal. Oh, come on! Wait, how come I don't see the sudden death thing? Is that off in one ball or something? I don't know. Let me go one more time here.
Intruder alert.
See, look, I thought it would be at like,
Area shutdown is underway.
I don't know.
Intruder is now in sudden death.
Okay, maybe it is. It's just not showing or something.
We don't have much time.
We don't have much time.
Let's sparkle. Let's wheel and deal.
Oh man. Oh. Lock is lit. Shoot the ramp. Okay.
Head for the ramp.
Okay, head for the
That
ramp.
was slick. Let's wheel and deal.
There we go. Locked one.
That was not a nice thing to do.
Lock is lit.
Oh wait, we're playing the mini game now? Let's go.
Authorized access through room.
Okay. Let's see here.
It's time to play the board game.
Fast. Let's go fast. 5. Okay. Ooh. Donuts? A dozen?
Go.
Security guards have been notified of your presence.
Fast.
Please use approved method for
Oh, I never know how to do this one.
2,000 access. That's not the way to operate the
Oh man.
2,000 security system.
5. Fast. We need to get away.
Computer aided.
Oh no.
For your own safety, please leave the
Okay,
area.
shoot any entrance to restart the. Oh no! I wasn't ready for that. That was still better than the previous two, so I'll take it. But we'll have to see how this one goes. Thank you guys for watching me play this week's tournament. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Hope you got something out of it. And I'll see what I can find throughout the week. So, till next time, thanks for watching. And thank you once again, guys, for being a part of my journey. Till next time, catch you guys there. Take care.